I lived with Britney consistently. I respected this woman. So when I brought up Kevin, she had never ever said,
For nearly 2 decades, the world believed Kevin Federline was just another celebrity ex-husband looking out for his kids. But now, the one person who was actually there during Britney Spears' darkest moments is speaking out. And what he's revealing about K-Fed will shock you to your core. Sam Lutfi, Britney's former manager, who lived with her during the chaotic years of 2007 and 2008, has finally broken his silence. And the truth he's exposing about Kevin Federline isn't just disturbing, it's downright disgusting. While Kevin paints himself as the concerned father in his new memoir, You Thought You Knew, Sam reveals a completely different story. A story of manipulation, greed, and betrayal that goes deeper than anyone imagined. YouTube. Let's start with the most obvious red flag: the timing. For nearly 18 years, Kevin Federline received a staggering $40,000 every single month from Britney Spears. That's almost $500,000 annually, totaling close to $9 million over their son's childhood. People YouTube. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment Sean Preston turned 20 and Jaden James hit 19, that money train came to a screeching halt. And what happens just weeks later? Kevin suddenly has an urgent need to share his truth about Britney in a tell-all memoir. Why times plus one? Sam Lutfi doesn't mince words about this convenient timing. In his explosive interview, he reveals that Kevin could have simply picked up the phone and called Britney if he truly needed financial help. But instead, he chose the most public and humiliating route possible, writing a book filled with accusations that would devastate any mother. The reality is brutal but simple. When the checks stopped coming, the character assassination began. What Sam reveals next will make your blood boil. During those hellish years when Britney was trapped under her father's conservatorship, Kevin wasn't just a bystander. He was a willing participant in a system designed to control and exploit her. Sam witnessed firsthand how the conservatorship used Kevin as their ultimate weapon. Whenever Britney showed signs of fighting back or trying to escape, they had one guaranteed way to break her spirit: threatening to take away her children. They would come to her and they wouldn't say, "Hey, we know you're talking to Sam." They'd just say, "Hey, just so you know, if you try anything like that, you'll never see the boys again," Sam reveals. And they were dangling the boys all the time, to keep her under control all the time. The most heartbreaking part? Britney would receive calls on borrowed phones, desperately telling Sam, "I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. They're making me eat a certain amount. My dad wants me to be in this shape. I have to tour. I don't want to do this." But she endured it all because seeing her children depended on her compliance. Kevin knew exactly what was happening, and he went along with it. Every single time. One of the most disturbing claims in Kevin's book involves Britney allegedly standing over their sleeping children with a knife. It's a story designed to paint her as an unfit, dangerous mother. But Sam's response exposes the massive holes in this narrative. Her teen sons, which means that they were minors at the time. Their entire time that they were minors, part of the time that I was with her until very recently, she was under a conservatorship, which meant multiple bodyguards, which meant her parents, even though she didn't want them around, which meant nannies, which meant housemates, which meant assistants and managers and people in the house, never leaving her alone. Sam explains, the logistics are impossible. Under the conservatorship, Britney was under 24/7 surveillance. Every move was monitored, every action documented. If such an incident actually occurred, it would have been reported immediately to the conservators, lawyers, and authorities. But there's more. Sam also exposes another lie: Kevin's claim about seeing Britney in a straitjacket. Sam was there during 2008 and states unequivocally she was never in a straitjacket. Never in a straitjacket. That was false. So that's fake. The pattern becomes clear. Kevin is fabricating dramatic scenarios to sell books, regardless of how they destroy his children's perception of their mother. Perhaps the most tragic aspect of this entire situation is what Kevin's actions are doing to Sean Preston and Jaden James. Sam believes the boys are victims of severe parental alienation, forced to believe a distorted version of who their mother really is. I'm pretty positive that this is all what the kids are experiencing is parental alienation. They've been alienated from her. They're forced to believe a certain horrible depiction of who she is, which is not true, Sam reveals. If Sam could speak directly to the boys, his message would be simple but powerful. Your mum sacrificed everything for you guys. She sacrificed everything. He describes the incredible stress Britney endured under the conservatorship, all while being told that any attempt to fight back would result in losing access to her children. The boys have been living with a manufactured version of their mother, one created by people with financial motives. They deserve to know that every decision she made, every sacrifice she endured, was for them. Here's where Kevin's claims of being a concerned ex-husband completely fall apart. Sam reveals that during Britney's most chaotic period in 2007 and 2008, when she desperately needed support, Kevin was nowhere to be found. I called him. I tried to get a hold of him. I called his lawyer. I tried to call the father of her kids at one of the craziest times of her life. Sam explains, even if you thought I was a horrible person, you pick up that call. I'm the closest person to that person you're concerned about. You try to vet me out, figure out what's going on. Never happened. This wasn't just neglect. It was a calculated decision. Kevin chose to stay away during her breakdown, positioning himself as the stable parent while she spiraled. Then years later, he uses that same period of chaos as ammunition against her in his book. The hypocrisy is staggering. Kevin claims to have been worried about Britney's well-being, but when she actually needed help, he refused to even take a phone call. Perhaps the most damning evidence against Kevin comes from Britney's own behaviour over the years. Despite everything he put her through, despite the pain and betrayal, she never once spoke publicly against him. Sam witnessed this firsthand. When I brought up Kevin, she had never ever said anything negative about Kevin. It was the father of her children. She had strict rules about disparaging the kid's father. Even when friends would criticise Kevin in her presence, she would ask them to leave. She looked at it as still he's a member of her family for the rest of her life. For 18 years, Britney maintained this protection. She could have destroyed Kevin's reputation with a single interview, a single social media post, a single reveal about their private life. She had the platform, the audience, and certainly the ammunition. But she chose silence out of respect for her children and their relationship with their father. Kevin repaid this loyalty by writing an entire book designed to humiliate and destroy her. As Sam's revelations paint the complete picture, Kevin Federline's true character becomes undeniable. This isn't the story of a concerned father or a man finally telling his truth. This is the story of someone who exploited a woman's mental health crisis, participated in her financial and emotional abuse, and then profited from her pain when the money stopped flowing. There's no other word for it other than disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, Sam states, and he's absolutely right. The timing of Kevin's book, the fabricated stories, the calculated damage to his own children's relationship with their mother, it all points to one motivation: money. When the child support check stopped, Kevin needed a new revenue stream, and he found it by selling his ex-wife's darkest moments to the highest bidder. But perhaps the most disgusting part of all is how Kevin is using his own children as collateral damage. Sean Preston and Jaden James will have to live with these lies about their mother for the rest of their lives, all because their father needed a payday. The world spent years believing Kevin Federline was just an unlucky guy who got caught up in Britney's chaos. Sam Lutfi's revelations prove the truth was always the opposite. Kevin was the chaos and Britney was his victim. The real question now is whether justice will ever catch up to the man who helped destroy one of the world's biggest superstars, then had the audacity to write a book about it.